Hey guys, today we're going to talk about alcohol and its effects, its pivotal role in history, and how it's still impactful in today's world, along with the properties that make the drink so damn interesting. The alcohol we all know and love is made out of these chemicals right here. Only some carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, and hydroxide. Now, when you look at it chemically, that doesn't sound all that bad. I mean, half of that we intake normally, and it's what chunks of our atmosphere is made up of. So how bad can it really be? Well, apparently death-defying. In some instances in pieces of history, according to the World Health Organization, or WHO, there's about 1.8 million deaths globally per year due to alcohol. Now, of course, you won't croak over and die if you chug a few of these every once in a while. It all depends on the range of consumption you're in. There's a low consumption rate, around a 0.01 or a 0.03, where you aren't really messed up by any means. This is more of a light buzz feeling. Your body's feeling a little warmer and your judgment is a bit skewed. But for the most part, your judgment's still pretty intact. This stage is where I believe the phrase liquid courage came from, because you're just about more open about yourself, less really thinking about what's going on around you, less anxiety or the voices inside your head. Things just get a little slower. Then there's moderate consumption rate. Moderate consumption rate is around a 0.04 or a 0.06. All the same effects from the low consumption rate, however, just a little more elevated. In this stage, you're noticeably more uncoordinated and your judgment is now way off, to a point where someone could convince you to do a backflip in the middle of the street and you would just ask them how many flips. This is the stage where most people think they can still drink and drive because alcohol gives them that false confidence, until you find them on TV about like 2 hours later for all the wrong reasons. Then there's high consumption rate. High is the legal limit or above the norm, about 0.08 to 0.15% or over. This focuses on all of the previous effects from before, only now your brain fucked off and left and decided that your body can fend for itself. This means you blacked out. You are now just a passenger along for the ride of any actions you will inevitably cause that night. You're also prone to throwing up and alcohol poisoning. For instance, this is normal me, just a chill guy, enjoys walks in the park, hiking, partakes in feminine literature every once in a while, might have a dabble of champagne every now and again. Now this is me blacked out. Quite the change of scenery. I no longer have the memories of this night and I woke up in someone else's clothes. Alright, moving on. Well, you might be asking yourself, why would people ever invent alcohol if it has so many distorted aspects of it? And well, besides the obvious, I don't think we would have any drama or shows or series without a sip of alcohol during a few pregnancies. But my other answer is China. According to expert archaeologists, China was the oldest civilization to have alcohol and be in production of it. Of course, it naturally spread across the globe, influencing different cultures, tastes, and fermentation practices. Back in the day, most alcohol was made from grapes, honey, dates, sorghum, rice, corn, and wheat. Fun fact, fermentation was probably discovered by accident, from wild yeast on fruit skins and in the air, converted sugars into ethanol, and when stored in warm, sealed jars, created alcohol. So basically, some guy just found mold and yeast and decided to drink it, and the world honors him for his bravery, alongside that other guy who found out humans could get milk from a cow. Now, I know you've heard about the tea tax, at least those who paid attention in history class, but did you know about the gin tax? Back in the 1700s, Britain had a problem with the consumption of gin in their working class. Gin was dirt cheap and easy to make and distribute, and so it made itself a staple for poor British people at the time who had to deal with extreme hardship and poverty. The gin was their way of briefly letting go and relieving themselves of burden and poverty. So naturally, Britain taxed the fuck out of them immediately after finding this out. Once in 1729, called the Gin Act of 1729, and then another time and much harsher tax in 1736. Finally, in the year 1743, the British government let up and reduced their taxes after realizing no one listened to them and that no one liked their policies. But it didn't last for very long, and eventually in 1751, they just made it really hard to sell or produce gin, and that led up to its collapse in popularity with those who were in poverty and those who sold it. Another time alcohol got political is in the year 1855 in Chicago. There was an incident called the Lager Beer Riot. Basically, Irish and German immigrants protested liquor licenses increasing, and instead of doing with the whole talking and trying to research an agreement thing with their citizens, police officers just shot and injured them, and those who were in the protest most likely got shot or died by getting beat. So that sparked a riot amongst the protesters. I'm guessing America studied film and saw how Britain took care of it and just wanted to approach the way in a more efficient way and to get their citizens to stop bitching and approached it more aggressively. That's gotta be kind of awkward though, for sure. You get off your shift that night, you want to ease down the stress and tension from work, so you sit down at a nice bar or pub, and then you just see the guy who you might have accidentally shot or beat up at a protest for that very drink that you were about to consume. Yeah, I can't imagine that blew over well, but here we are today. Your key takeaways should be that alcohol isn't just a fun drink, it's a social force and historical actor, responsible for much culture and laws and overall connection. So next time you see your drunk uncle at Thanksgiving stumbling around on the floor and causing a scene, hand him another beer or shot for being such a rebel and cheer him on for his bravery and culture. Anyways, thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time.